Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Blazing Sword Let's Play. So, now that we've recruited Dorcas, we're going to keep moving on. I know you've all seen this before, but now we get the two units who I purposely left out of the original playthrough, but based on how they're performing in Lyn hard mode, we're probably going to see them a lot during Hector hard mode. And, well, I'm happy too, because I always like it when the units that I didn't use the first time around do better this time. Which still doesn't explain how Sane got such a good level up. I'm not using you. You had your time in the sun. So anyway, nevertheless, I think we should move on with the Q&A session, shall we? Okay, so first up. Who was the most busted unit you've ever had? Not a lord. We'll see. When you say busted unit, it has to come down to, like, probably the ones that get most RNG blessed for me. So it's the ones that end up the best, whether they objectively are good or bad doesn't matter. It's just which ones have ended up the best. Well, if that's the case, the most busted units I've had, overall, Radiant Dawn, I usually have a very busted Nephany. I don't know what it is. Well, to be fair, when I did research into like how good Nephany was, if you do transfers from thingy files, she does get quite the boost, which is probably why Nephany always turns out so good for me. So she's always really, really good. But my most recent playthrough, my Jill, I wish I recorded that part and put it up like just to show you, because if you guys saw how good Jill was, like, I created my pants at how good she was. It wasn't even funny. She got such good level up. She absolutely dominated part 1. And oh my god, part 4 and onwards, she was just like, yeah, you're just all dead. Just give up and die. She was absolutely beautiful. My first playthrough of Binding Blade, Sue was pretty fucking busted. She just destroyed everyone. Even when I got like Sin later on, Sue was just like, nah, just destroy everything. She was so bloody good. Path of Radiance, I think it was this. No. Marcia in Path of Radiance was really damn busted. I remember in the first playthrough I did, she got the highest kill count. I was like, fucking hell, girl, you're good. Charlotte was pretty busted in Conquest, where she literally, her critical was so high, she just crit everything. I know she generally does, but here it's just like, yeah, crit for days. I'm gonna say, I don't know, I don't really count him as a lord, so Ryoma was pretty busted in Birthright, but that's more to just do with the fact that Ryoma is Ryoma, but he's still pretty busted. Farja in Awakening was really busted, just like, I think she had really good defense, and she was surprisingly fast, so she could tank a shit ton of hits, and she just kept like Nosferatu doubling people. It was absolutely wonderful. This one's kind of, well, this one, they're just automatically busted. The Lagoose Kings, they are just naturally busted. I mean, the Sala's the weakest of them, but the rest of them are just, you know, super strong, aside from funny. And the current Lyn, the Blazing Sword Lyn, is the most busted Lyn I've ever had, and it is wonderful. So there's the most busted units I've used. Was anyone in Echoes busted? Actually, not gonna lie, I think Delthea was pretty busted in Echoes, because I remember I gave her that ring, which gave her like 20 speed, so she doubled everything, just cast her strongest attack, she was just like destroyed everything. And Matilda was pretty damn busted. She crit so much with the Blessed Lance, it wasn't even funny. So they were pretty busted. Oh, and for genealogy, currently Jamk is like, he god damn it, he just one-rounds everything with that fucking killer bow. Okay, next question. What's your opinion on kittens and the colour purple? Kittens are adorable. I don't know if I have, well, my favourite animal's a cheetah, but I wouldn't say I'm like a cat person. But I love kittens. They're such sweet little things, and, you know, they just make such little balls of fluff and joy. You can't help but love them. And what's my opinion on the colour purple? Honestly, I've always really liked the colour purple. It's just really cool, especially now I've seen more in, like, when you just explore more media, you see it as a very, like, you use it for a much more regal colour. So I really like that. You associate it with, like, power, pristine and stuff, and I really like that. It's just, I don't know what it is about purple. It's a cool colour. And he also asks, have you ever played Golden Sun? If so, then what's your opinion on it? I haven't played Golden Sun, but I keep hearing really good things about the GBA game and the DS game, so I'm definitely interested to try the series out at some point. So yeah, Golden Sun definitely looks cool. It looks like a cool game. Next question. Have you ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? If so, what's your favourite part so far? Well, I've only watched the first 2 parts, so Phantom Blood, and I think it was Battle Tenacity or Tendency. I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head. It was one of the 2. Where I did like it. I get the appeal of it. I know part 3 is meant to be like the best part, so there's that. I haven't seen that yet. But I really do enjoy JoJo. It very much relishes in how bizarre it is. I think that's the main appeal of it. It's not like, you're not meant to take JoJo seriously, but what it does it very well. So you've got to go into JoJo with a bit of a certain mindset, but you can only get the most out of it. I definitely preferred the second part just because it was more interesting. But the first part did have Dio though, so, you know, there's that. But I did like JoJo. I look forward to seeing the rest of it. Okay. Any YouTuber you would love to do a commentary with in your Let's Plays? Well, if we're talking about just general YouTubers, well, some of my favourite ones that I'd love to talk to and commentate with, some call me Johnny. I absolutely love the guy. He seems really cool. Giga, he's like my favourite anime YouTuber, and he did kind of get me into anime with his Fate Zero review, and he does a lot of really both hilarious and heartwarming stuff. Glass Reflections Arcada, because he's got so much charisma to him that I really admire. CJ01, because he is also a YouTuber that I just really admire, and I really like him, and he just seemed like a really cool guy. Pro Jared, because again, very funny guy, very cool, and I just like the way he is. Jwitz is the same situation, seems like a really, really nice dude, very, you know, seems very friendly, and I like his stuff. Chris, because he seems very funny, at the same time, very cool dude. Him and I have, like, he's got a massive Crash thing, I've got a massive Crash thing, and I don't know, there's something charming about Chris. He-Man Gaming Station, because I talked to him a lot on Skype. You know, my collab with him was a lot of fun, and his Sonic Adventure collab was also a lot of fun to do. You know, I just really like He-Man and Rapid Luigi as well, because he does seem like a really just cool, mellow type person that I'd get along with. For Fire Emblem specific YouTubers, the ones I'd like to do co-commentaries with, Max HP, because I really enjoyed the collab we did, and just talking to him sometimes on Skype and Twitter, and also when I joined him for that Fire Emblem Warriors update video, I thought that was really cool. Gas Station, because he seems pretty cool, very chilled guy, and I like his support science stuff. Omniblade, because I do like talking to him on Skype. I really liked when he helped me with the Xenoblade video, and, you know, he is he's a cool guy that, you know, respects to Omniblade, I think it's cool. And Zerk as well, because I remember he's been a big fan of me for a long time. I've enjoyed his stuff. It's great to see how far he's come, and, you know, him and I have a lot of history of Fire Emblem, so that'd be cool. Okay, and final question from this person. Have you ever found any adaptation that was better than the original source material? For example, if an anime was better than the original manga? A few. First, well, 2 from the author Stephen King. I honestly thought both Carrie films, the 1976 one and the 2013 one, were better than his book. Not massively, but they were better. I mean, I love the book, but I love the films much more, the 76 one being my favourite version. I don't know, I just think the depiction of the main character was much better, and some of the other characters, the way that things flowed was much better, and I like that he was more ambiguous. And this ties into his other adaptation I thought was better, The Shining. The book, The Shining, is alright, but fucking hell, there's so much detail, unnecessary detail that I really, like, half the time I wanted to fall asleep, whereas the Kubrick version was just overall, it was way more vague, and I think that worked in its favour. I really like that. So that. Fullmetal Alchemist technically is kind of like, I find Alchemist and Brotherhood the same, but because of that, I kind of like certain directions the anime adaptation went. You know, there were some things that it did better than the original Brotherhood, which I can't help but praise it for. So it's on the level, but technically in some ways it is better than the original. Another one, now hear me out. In same way with Alchemist Brotherhood vs original, the Ghost in the Shell live action film and the original Ghost in the Shell anime film. Now, the reason I say this is because the original Ghost in the Shell film is better. It's a masterpiece of animation, of film, sci-fi, and stuff like that, and anime. But at the same time, when you really go back and look at the film, you know, while it has amazing visuals, soundtrack, themes, you know, ideologies, very, very potent commentary and all that jazz, the actual narrative and pacing of the film is quite flawed. Like, there's a lot of, it kind of jumps all over the place. It doesn't flow very well, in my opinion at least, and it ends weirdly, and I guess from a lot of people, if you're not paying attention, it's easy to get lost. The new film, while the themes aren't as deep, is a slightly more dumbed down, not massively, slightly. I do like the direction it went with the narrative and how it combined various storylines from the other source materials, but still kept true to the original film. There were some new themes and ideas I really liked. The narrative flowed much better, more characters had stuff to do, like Barto had more to do and stuff, and there was more focus on the major. So, in some ways, I did like the original Ghost in the in some ways, I did like the live-action version better. I still think it's actually... I think it's a very underrated film. Like, it's a lot of flack, just because the original Ghost in the Shell is really good. But I think for like a Hollywood blockbuster and an anime adaptation, it's pretty damn good, you know. And that's why, that was one of the things I really liked when Chris Schmuckman did his review of it, because, like, he said the original was better, but he really highly praised this film, and I felt the exact same. I thought it was really good. Ollie and I really enjoyed it. And also, I think the other adaptation, I think the Attack on Titan anime is much better than the manga, mainly because there's more focus on the side characters, which I like. It gives more depth to the world and just feels better, rather than just focusing on Eren. I mean, I like Eren, but, you know, you want to focus on the people. Also, I think being in the anime format works because of how the 3D maneuver gear, you know, how it's animated, it just works better. Like, the manga, I know the artwork's got a lot of complaints, but because of how the way the manga is, you can't really simulate that 3D movement. With the anime, you can, and I think it worked out for the best. Okay. Next question. Who's your favourite lord in terms of a unit, not a character? Favourite lord in terms of unit is Ike, Sigurd, Ephraim, and Hector. Ike because he's basically a superpowered hero, which, you know, wonderful. Sigurd because he's a superpowered mounted unit, wonderful. Hector because he's a superpowered axe unit, wonderful. And Ephraim because he's a superpowered lance unit, wonderful. They just have you just go through the games like what if, die. I mean, out of all of them, I think Hector objectively is the worst, but the rest, they're still strong. The rest of them just wreck shit. Okay. Who's your favourite paladin in the series and why? That would be Seth and Xander. Seth because not only is he the best, like, I think he is objectively the best unit in Sacred Stones, but the supports of Erika are wonderful. He does play a big part in the story, and he's just such a good retainer and lovely person. Xander because while he does get bastardized in Birthright and sometimes in Conquest and Revelations, not so much Conquest because there are some bits in Conquest with him I really liked. His like supports are really good. I like the way he's written. He has some really good interactions with like his siblings and stuff like that. And as a unit, while his speed and resistance are lacking, he's such a fucking tank. It's wonderful. And I just really like Xander. I really like just the type of person he is. Okay. He also asked, have you heard Dragon Ball Super's recent intro, Limit Break X Survivor? No, because I have not been keeping up with Dragon Ball Super. My anime backlog is terrible at the moment. I had a really, like, I didn't keep up with a lot of anime last season, in the summer season, but the fall season I'm definitely doing a better job. So I haven't watched Dragon Ball Super. I mean, my brother's really got into it because of, like, I think it was Jiren. Yeah, he really likes that character, so I think I might, you know, go back to it at some point and then see the intro. Or the opening. Okay. Who's your favourite dragon type in Pokemon ever? Well, I mentioned this in top 10 Pokemon types, but my favourite dragon type is Salamence because it's cool, it can work both physical and special, it has a wonderful Mega Evolution. I love Salamence, just an awesome, awesome Pokemon. Speaking of Limit Break, have you seen the image of Goku's new form in Super Limit Break Goku? If so, what do you think of the design? Again, sorry, I haven't keeping up with it, so I can't say. Have you ever played the Dragon Quest series? I've seen it. My sister's got the one on the DS, I can't remember what it is. I've seen it a lot, my friend played it a lot, and I haven't played, but I own Dragon Quest 8 on the PlayStation 2, and my supervisor was working with it at the time. He said that's one of the best to start with and best in the series, so I picked it up, and, you know, yeah, I look forward to getting around to it eventually. This one's a little out of place question because he says, as a little out of place question, what's your favourite drink and why? Well, I have many favourite drinks. There's this grown up, like, sparkling drink called Schlur. It's absolutely delicious, and whenever it's on offer, I grab it. There's this drink I usually have when I go to, like, pubs or like bars. It's called Purple Rain. It's this really sweet, like, vodka type drink. A pitcher, and it's so delicious. It's like drinking refreshers, like refreshers the sweet. Oh, it's beautiful. Because I like to drink cider, it's my favourite of the normal alcoholic beverages. I like Bulmer's pear cider a lot. I think it's wonderful. The aloe vera drinks they sell that have been quite popular recently, I really like. They've got this really nice taste to them. There's this canned tropical drink you can get called Rio Fizzy. It's very nice, I really enjoy that. And for just normal juice, I really like cranberry juice. I don't know what it is, but it has that sweet start, bitter aftertaste, which just works, and I really like it. Also asking, have you listened to Studiopolis Zone's music from Sonic Mania? If so, what do you think of the song, and what's your overall composer of the soundtrack? I haven't played Sonic Mania, and I haven't really listened to the music. I've seen my brother and sister play it quite a bit, so I've had glimpses of it, but I can't really say. But in terms of the composer, I know he did Some Call Me Johnny's intro, and I've heard some of his music in Sonic Mania. Very bouncy and upbeat, and I like that. I like that type of music. Okay. If you could have any personal Lord weapon from Fire Emblem series, what would it be and why? Ragnar, because it's a giant fuck-off sword that shoots energy beams. Yeah, that's awesome, you know. That is really, really cool. It's like, oh, there's an enemy at a distance. Whoosh, get out of my face. And finally, what's your favourite Lord promotion? It's the Sacred Stones twins, because I just like to see them go from like, well, not so much Ephraim, but more Erica go from like feeble units to have these horses that make them look more graceful and pristine. And Ike's Vanguard transformation, because he just basically gets like this, like the massive van brace on his arm, gauntlet thing, and it's just like, fucking hell, Ike. Why don't you just call yourself like, I don't know, like, why don't you just call yourself the Black Swordsman while you're at it? Because that's basically what you are. Okay, so new question from this person, new person. What is, in your opinion, your perfect Fire Emblem game? It's either Path of Radiance or Fire Emblem 7, because those two to me, they're the most like well thought out, well designed, focused, no bullshit, well structured games in this series. Path of Radiance from beginning to end just works. It doesn't ever like dip in quality. Well, it does, you know, certain chapters, but it keeps going. You know, it feels consistent throughout. There's no bullshit to it. It's just straight from beginning to end. Great time. Blazing Sword, because I think it, again, it's like, well, if you've seen this playthrough, it just kind of keeps going. You know, Battle for Dawn's a bit of a dip, but aside from that, it just keeps going on. It's really fun throughout. You know, you get alternate routes you can tackle, alternate things you can go, but the adventure, you know, you can a single playthrough you can get a lot out of it, but multiple playthroughs you can get even more because there's more to explore. And I just love both games. They don't bullshit around, you know. And I really find it hard to like find aspects I really hate about these games. I can find aspects I can hate about Conquest or Sacred Stones or Echoes or Radiant Dawn or Genealogy or Awakening, you know, and stuff like that. Path of Radiance and Fire Emblem 7, I really can't find stuff to hate, so to speak. Okay. New question. What's your thoughts on Pokemon Sun and Moon, and are you hyped for Ultra Sun and Moon? Well, I answered my question. I told people what I thought about Pokemon Sun and Moon in the previous part. Now, Ultra Sun and Moon. Before, I couldn't care less because I was like, I didn't like Sun and Moon much, so I didn't care. But the new trailer they showed, where you got this like new evil league and a separate campaign, that's got me more interested because Black 2 kind of did that same thing, and Black 2 is one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played. So if it's more along those lines, maybe it could really make up for Sun and Moon's shortcomings. So I'm definitely more interested now. Okay. Next question from the next new person. What is your most hated Fire Emblem game? Well, here's the thing. I don't hate any Fire Emblem games. I think all of them are wonderful games. Even like, in my opinion, Shadow Dragon is my least favorite of the ones I played. But it's still one of my favorite games on the DS and a great RPG. It's just that, you know, compared to the rest of the series, it feels a bit lacking. But like, I have yet to have a Fire Emblem game I straight up hate. I love all of them. I just love some more than others. That's all. Hey, new question. Have you played the Ace Attorney games? If so, are you going to play one on this channel? I have the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy on the DS. I downloaded it. It's the original free Ace Attorney games, not the 3DS ones. I've played the first one and I really enjoyed it. You know, the Phoenix Wright games, they're a different type of game, but you know, for what it does it really well, and it's just a lot of fun. Will I let's play them? Yes, but it's going to be kind of let's play Phoenix Wright is weird because you already know what to do unless you do a blind one, so you kind of already know where you're going. Because I beat the first Phoenix Wright, so you could play, it's actually just perfect, the game, but the experience is definitely worth it. And I'm currently playing the second one. But Metroid interrupted that, so once that's over with, which I'm nearly done with, I'll get back to Phoenix Wright. Okay. Next question, new person. If you could make one weapon a reality, what stats and effects would it have? There's this weapon I had an idea for where it can, depending on, when you go to attack the enemy, it's like a weird magical item. When you go to attack the enemy, it changes into, based on what you want to do, it can change into either a lance, a sword, or an axe. And so you can go up to the enemy with a lance, it's like, alright, I want to use this weapon. I'll switch it to an axe. But it stays an axe until your next turn, so maybe you kill the enemy with the lance and with the axe out, but then if the enemy attacks you with the sword, you can't switch back, you've still got the axe. So I think it'll be more risk and reward to it. It'll help to make some units more versatile, but at the same time, they've still got to worry about stuff. In terms of stats, I'd make it the same as the brave weapons, but you take away the ×4 here, because the brave weapons aren't as strong. From what I remember, they're not as strong as like the silver weapons, but they're better than the steel weapons. But the ×4 hit is the main appeal of them. But this one, you have the same stats, but you take away the ×4 hit, so they're strong but not amazing. Okay. So, and next question is, what is your favourite personal weapon in Fire Emblem besides the Lord weapon? So, no Ragnar, no Falchion, no Yato. It would probably be either Irvan, the Wing Spear, or the Wishblade. Irvan because it's just Grail's axe, it's really cool, and you give it to Jill by the end and she just destroys. Wing Spear because it just lets Sheeta wreck all kinds of shit and it's really good for her class. And Wishblade because you give it to Nephany and just kill everything in sight. I love it. Now, if you excuse me, I need a drink. Okay, next question. Who do you prefer from... Wait, sorry, I think this question's worded a bit weirdly. Okay, so... Oh boy. I think the question's trying to ask, out of these 5 characters, who do you like the most? Sonia, Kagero, Camilla, and Charlotte. Favorite is Camilla. Second place would be Kagero. Third, I'm gonna say Sonia, as in Echo Sonia. Fourth, Charlotte. Last, Blazing Sword Sonia, because Blazing Sword Sonia's a bitch. Cool villain, but she's a bitch. Okay. Also ask, do you like the cast in Fire Emblem Warriors? I'm alright with it. Again, I've said this before, it's a fine cast, it's just too vanilla. Like, honestly, I think the biggest offender is the Fates cast, because I really think Leo, Hinoka, at least Sakurai could have been ditched for just other Fates units who are more unique. So, the roster's fine, I'm not going to get angry over it. It could have easily been much better, but at the same time, it could have been worse. Like, if it was, say, I don't know, if it was a smaller roster, like you got like a smaller character that didn't have Celica or Lyn, and you know, stuff like that, then it would have been much worse. But for what it was, it's alright. And what is your favorite death quote from Fire Emblem Echoes and Heroes? I don't know, because I don't really listen to the death quotes. Usually if someone, well, in Heroes, just skip it because, you know, whatever. And if it's Echoes, usually I just reset. Unless it's Miller's Turnwheel, but, you know, I kind of skip the death quote there. Okay. Next question. If FE8 gets a remake, what changes would you like to see? I would like to see more exclusive chapters depending on the character's route, because, like, while you do get quite a substantial amount of them, I would like to see more, so you get more involved. There's more, you get more out of going a specific direction, and you get to probably expand upon certain points. I think that would be really cool. Make the supports build faster. Just incorporate the new support system, because Sacred Stones, aside from like Colm and Naomi and Seth and Erica, it took so fucking long to build supports, and it was so annoying. So there's that. Better endgame in the sense of don't make it so easy, because endgame of Sacred Stones just kind of, it's really, really, really easy and just kind of boring. And perhaps more backstory in certain people like Valta, maybe some of the other generals like Selena and stuff. Maybe give Joshua a backstory. I know you don't want to expose too much, but I think having a bit more with some of the secondary characters would have been better. And also make the game harder, because I think Sacred Stones is just way too easy with or without Seth, so I would have liked to see more of a challenge. Okay. Next question. What are your thoughts on FE Warriors Season Pass and any predictions on the characters? Okay, so the Season Pass is going to be... I know we get the Bride Lucina, which Lucina fans are going to eat up like nobody's fucking business. So... I still think it's kind of silly that they're doing Fates, Awakening, and Shadow Dragon only. Like, this would have been a prime opportunity to you know, get him on, you know, other Fire Emblem games. But, and someone did point this out, I can't remember who, Hyrule Warriors had a lot of DLC over its lifetime. You know, there were various waves, so this could just be wave 1, but wave 2, maybe we get like Genealogy, or Echoes, or Binding Blade, or perhaps like Sacred Stones. But, you know, I still think they should have gone with that to begin with. In terms of what I'll predict, for Awakening, I see Lucina being in. Obviously, we're going to get Anna, because we've seen it. I see Faja getting in. I see maybe Sayori getting in, because she is kind of important to the plot. Potentially, they could include some villains, and they might include, like, Morgan, and maybe, like, another child unit, perhaps Inigo. So, there's that. If they're going to do Fate, I also reckon they might do, like, a Wallheart map for History Mode, and a Gangron map. So, there's that. Oh, boy, Matthew. It's all intentional, just want to level up. For Fates, I can see them they'll probably go with like the Revelations neutral unit, so maybe Gunter, maybe what's his face, Jacob, Felicia, and Flora, Kaze, and Silas. They'll probably go with. If they want to go with more exclusive characters, if it's Conquest, I reckon they'll go with like Charlotte and Nyx. If it's Birthright, they'll probably go with Rinka and Reina. And also, yeah, there's a conversation you can have if you talk to Matthew with Sarah, which I can't remember if this leads to anything, but I know in Hector Hard Mode, Matthew and Sarah have like some of their exclusive moments, so I don't know if anything comes of this. It's almost like the conversation, like if you do something in Lin Mode, this will come of it, you get certain support, let me know. Yeah, so potentially that, I could see like, maybe them doing, I don't know what they've done for Fate's History Mode, but I could probably see them doing maybe some Revelations related stuff. Perhaps, you know, maybe a Makushu map, or the one with the place of the Opera House, I can't remember, it begins with a C. The place of the Opera House, maybe, that type of History Mode map. And for Shadow Dragon, I could potentially see them adding like Minerva, and maybe Ogma. Perhaps, maybe like Nina, the princess and stuff, maybe Goth, and stuff like that. And I can see them perhaps doing the history mode, like, I don't know what Shadow Dragon's history mode maps are. Maybe they'll do the Garneth map, perhaps they'll do the Camus map or something like that. Oh yeah, I can see them adding Camus too. So, you know, that's what I can see for the DLC. Just more stuff, nothing groundbreaking though. And I don't know if they'll do any more bride outfits, though. If they want to make money, they'll put Camilla in a bride outfit. Would I pay for it? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, so next question. Where is it? Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll through. Okay. Alright, do you think Ninian, because basically, alright, do you think Ninian should have stayed dead and Nils take over, or have her never get killed by Durandal? See, her coming back in Blazing Swords, I'm sure pretty much you all know, she does come back. Her coming back in Blazing Sword is kind of bullshit, but I don't care because I love Ninian so much and it's such a sweet ending for her and Ellawood. I do think she still should have died though, because I think it is a major impact on the story and the characters and one of the best parts of Fire Emblem. I think her staying alive wouldn't have made the story as impactful. So, you know, it is kind of a cop-out, but I do kind of just like the way Blazing Sword handle things. It's like, it's bullshit, but it's the right kind of bullshit. Sorry. Okay. What is the best archer / sniper, nomads don't count, in Binding Blade as a unit and a character? In my opinion, I think Ingrid is the best. As a unit, Ingrid is the best. She starts with the best base stats and a killer weapon, which is really good. And she comes in, around the same time Percival does. So, you know, there's that. Her character's cool too, being, you know, Thingy's Guardian of Nevada and stuff. The only one who I'd consider, like, not better, but I kind of prefer is Klein, because he comes in earlier. Clarine's brother, and he's got cool support, but also he starts with a higher weapon rank in bows. I think he starts with either A or S, so straight out the gate, Silver Bow. His stats aren't as good, but fuck yeah. Guys, I think Ingrid is the overall better unit. I like them both though. will you ever make a video on heroes? Well, I already did give my thoughts, but I might do one saying top 10 banners I want to see or top 10 characters I'd like to see in heroes. So I could probably see myself doing that, especially because we've recently there have been more banners out. So, you know, especially with like the Brave Hero and the Dancer banners, probably an interesting twist on them. So that type of thing I might like to see. Okay. Okay. Just do. Okay. What are the best sages in the GBA era from worst to best? Well, in terms of stats, I think the two best, objectively, I could be wrong, so this is just based on what I know of the characters, like, you know, in regards to the game. I think Pent and Selith, or how we pronounce his name, Sacred are the best, because people with good base stats and good growth rates, they just, you know, especially for hard mode runs, they're definitely really good. After that, I think it's Lu, because he appears early, and because in Binding Blade, mages do have that extra potency, and he's overall just really well-rounded and well done. After that, Lucius, because he, again, appears early, his glass cannon does a lot of damage, and when he upgrades, he becomes a really good staff user. After that, I say Urk, because Urk, again, appears early, well-rounded and stuff. Moving on, I'd say Artura, because he has an advantage in that game, kind of like Lucas is a glass cannon, and he makes for a good healer. Not as good as Lucius, sorry, I say Lucius, not as good as Lucius, but overall good. Moving on to Canis, because even though he doesn't appear as early, and his tomes are a bit rarer and heavier, but it gives him, like, the Lunar tome is really good, and it gives him, like, exclusivity and a bit of a niche. Then Hugh, because even though you got to pay for him, he's overall well-rounded and he can be useful, especially as like a replacement mage and stuff like that. After that, there's Null, because he's not very impressive, but he still has that Dark Mage niche and is overall pretty decent. Then it would be Lilina and Nina. I put Lilina in the same time, because Lilina, in normal mode, you can get away with her working, because like the enemies are easier and her magic output is usually enough to do a lot of damage. Hard mode, not so much, because her low speed and stuff will really fuck her over, and she won't have enough damage because the enemy's HP to take him out, and if they retaliate, they can possibly kill her. Nina, because she starts so damn late. I mean, her growth rate is good and she can be strong, but she starts so damn late and she gets outdone by most other mages to no point. Then Ewan, because he appears really damn late into Sacred Stones, but he has potential to be really good, and Sacred Stones is an overall easier game. Sophia's the worst because she appears late, her growth rates really aren't that great. She gets weighed down by her tomes, and Binding Blade is just an overall harder game. So Sophia's probably objectively the worst. Now, in terms of favourites, Lucius, because you've seen how he's great in this playthrough. I love his supports with like Raven and stuff. Then Lilina, because even though she's not that great of a unit, I love her supports and character. Nina's the same situation. Absolutely love her character, not the best unit ever, but she's so adorable. Then Pent, because Pent's a really damn cool guy. He's got some cool supports, and he actually does play a bit in the story. Then it's Urk, because, I don't know, Urk just kind of reminds me of Soren in a way, and I just like his like attitude, how he's got to deal with Sarah's bullshit. Then Ewan, because he does have the potential to become really strong, and I did like him on my first playthrough where I did grind him up. And some of his supports are cool. Canis is alright, he just doesn't stand out too much to me, and I was never huge on him, but he's cool. Sophia I like after that, because even though she does kind of suck as a unit, her supports are pretty damn good, and I like her character, but again, you can't look past unit thing. Salif is a low down, only because I rarely use him, because I usually find off with the mages I have, and I don't feel the need to use Selif, or whatever his name is, in Sacred Stones. Nothing against him, just don't use him much. Arthur, even though I know he's a good unit, I'm just overall not huge on him, and wasn't the biggest fan of his character, and even though he's good, I just prefer Loot. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Loot, not as good as Canis, better than Hugh, because she has potential to be a good magical attacker, whereas everything else is a bit bad for her, and her con is terrible, but you know, she definitely can become strong by the end. She makes for a damn good sage. After that is Hugh, because Hugh's just kind of like, I'm not huge on the whole Beowulf archetype, we got to pay for them. And Hugh's an alright guy, but not amazing. And Noel's my least favourite because I really just don't find him interesting and I barely use him. So anyway, we're going to break here, and when we next come back, we're going to get move on with more and more of these questions, as well as run to Hector, and the character I'm going to need to level the fuck out of if I want to get a certain exclusive chapter. But until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later.